Hello, hello, everyone. Hopefully, y'all are having a wonderful day. Beautiful Sunday, beautiful week, I hope, for y'all. But yeah, got a big thing of water. Got my post-workout protein shake. I'm trying that now. I have a little bit of love-hate relationship with the protein shake, because like every protein shake has like that taste, you know what I mean? That just that bitterness to it that makes it so unpalatable for me. But I asked my brother for recommendations. He's a personal trainer, so I feel like he would know. And he pointed me to a shop. Apparently I got the wrong thing, by the way. But I got one that's like banana bread or something like that. And I tried it a couple different ways. First, I tried it in water, like the directions told me to, and then just mixed it with a spoon. And that was a bad time. That was such a bad time. Because like because first of all, it doesn't taste good in water. Second of all, the spoon stir is not enough of a mixing technique to get rid of all the like powder in it. So I like had it and it tasted chalky and gross, and it just like the powder would like coat the back of my throat, and it was it was so bad. And then I was like, all right, okay. Well, the next thing we'll try is we'll try it with milk. So I tried it with milk, and it's actually decent with milk. So milk is the way to go when it comes to at least this protein shake. And I think it's like MyPro or something like that, because my brother recommended, it was like it should have BCAAs and what was the other thing? Hold on. It was like two things specifically in it that you want to look for. And because the site didn't say, it was glutamine and BCAAs, and the site didn't specify if they had both, except for this one that specifically said it had both. And when I mentioned that to him, he was like, no, every single one of those should have both. And I'm like, but they didn't say that they had both. And anyway, so I tried with milk. It was actually good. And then I tried it with like the fruit shake that I make. It's like a healthy, with like spinach and fruit and all that other kind of stuff. So I was like, it's probably a little too much nutrients in one sitting. My body probably can't absorb all of it all at once. But, you know, we'll see. Maybe it'll have like a little bit more banana flavor. Maybe it'll have like a little more banana, like a little banana bread tinge to it. Make it like taste even better. Bro, when I tell you that this thing tasted only of banana bread with the texture of a fruit shake, it was bad. There was a hint of strawberry, and not the strawberry banana, that tastes pretty good. No, this is the first time I've had strawberry and I'm like, this tastes awful with this. Because when I think like strawberries and banana bread sounds actually really delicious, but it did not in this case. So I had to dump that whole batch down. But yeah, so I'm giving this a try. Of course, my brother was like, are you an idiot? Why didn't you just get the sample pack? You don't know what you like yet. Would get the cheapest viable option, see what you like, and then go forward with that. Why did you get a giant bin of something you didn't know you wanted? And I'm like, my guy, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. My brain isn't turned on. What do you want from me? He's definitely a morning person. I am not. Speaking of not being a morning person, I recently watched a video as far as like circadian rhythms and how that changes your like ups and downs, and you should work during your high energy moments and lows during your low energy moments, which I know I talked about before. I talked about that before with y'all, where I discussed specifically my, like, in the beginning after I quit my job, one of the first things I did was see my energy levels and when I focused and when I didn't focus. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. This is the daily schedule one. We'll do you. Daily schedule. And then boop. Why are you so tiny? There you go. So if you go over here, I noticed, like, when I get up in the morning, I slowly, like, I peak about like 4 hours or so after I wake up, which, by the way, is right about now. That's why I start at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, because I get up at 10. So about 4 hours after I get up, I get a good peak of energy, and then I dip for after 2 hours. So I give like a little peak, and then I get a good dip. That's why at 4 o'clock in the middle of our stream, it's that's why when we hit that wall, I'm just like, I can't focus. It's right around 4 o'clock. It's like right at that dip. And what I should be doing is like stream probably like 12 to 2, right? And then like, sorry, not 12 to 2, 12 to 4, and then have like a second one at like 6, like in the evenings, and like 6 or something, or get work done in the evenings. But the problem with that is that more often than not, that would completely kill the time that I would, like, I use that 12 o'clock time slot to work out. Because I need, especially in the beginning when I was really trying to like get myself in, I needed that heightened energy, right, while still having the motivation. Because as you can kind of see as well, like my for me, and from what I've been seeing, it tends to be fairly universal, I think, when it comes to motivation, where you start the day with a lot of it, and then it's essentially a limited resource that you pull from. And the more you fight temptations, the more that you try to make yourself do that you wouldn't normally want to do, that price is motivation. So like, it, on one hand, I could be like, oh, why don't I like stream from like 12 to 4, and then during my lull time rest, and then around like 6 when I pick back up, why don't I work out then? And the reason is because my motivation at 6 is like almost at its lowest point in the entire day. Now, what I ended up learning was that my motivation is tied to sleep. So if I decide to like stream from like 12 to 4 or something, and then I took a nap, then I would have more motivation than if I didn't take a nap. But I'm not a napper. I don't like to nap usually. I don't usually come out the other end of the nap better, if that makes any sense. I'm usually groggy or tired. I don't know if y'all get that at all, as far as like, do you just feel amazing after you take a nap? Maybe, look, I don't think I'm a cat. You know those personalities where it's like you're a cat or a dog? I'm definitely not a cat. Naps are not my forte. I'm not a napper. I get overheated. I also like, I'm a hot sleeper. So unless like it is cold, like all that's gonna happen is that I'm gonna wake up in the middle of REM sleep because I overheated and I'm just covered in sweat, and I'm just like, great. This is not a good time. What the hell do you mean? So anyway, I was watching a video about all this, and it was giving like recommendations as far as like when your peak versus when you like when you should be working versus not working, and it's very similar to this, where it's like I'm very much a night owl. Like my peak, the guy recommended was like 4 p.m. is when you should start working. 4 p.m. is not me. For me, it's 6. It's post dinner. It's like post dinner clarity. And what ends up happening, to kind of give you guys a little bit of Idealist lore, not Idealist lore the character, Idealist lore the person. One of my nicknames is Midnight Breakfast. Because one day, I don't know why it became a meme, but one day I was just occasionally like sharing some of my cooking journeys, and I was like, midnight breakfast, and it was like a couple eggs and some toast, and my friends fucking lost it. They thought it was so funny. I was like, bro, I'm just eating midnight breakfast. What are you talking about? But I think there is a bit of a correlation there where it's like my peak being 6, I'm burning so much mental energy in the evenings that when midnight, like 12 o'clock runs around, I'm hungry. I am real hungry, like 1 o'clock. It happened to me last night where I was just like, man, I want some eggs and toast real bad, and it was like 12:30 in the morning. But I dip right around 1 o'clock, so like I get the boost at 6, and then it finally crashes at 1 a.m. And then I go to bed between 2 or 3, and then I get up between 10 and 11, and then I start the cycle all over again. And it's really interesting, like, having your day built around the cycle that is appropriate to your body. I don't set alarms in the morning. I can't tell you how much I needed to have an alarm set in order for me to function in school, for work, like, and I remember, and I had these conversations with my brothers as well, where suddenly I'll be like, oh, getting here, because I get there around like 6:30 in the morning, and my brother gets there at like 5, and I'm like, gosh, just getting here at 6:30 in the morning is always a struggle. It's like, the one way to beat it is just do 6:30 every morning, and I'm like, that is never going to happen. That is never going to happen. And for him, it's like, you just need to have more discipline. He unfortunately has, I'm not going to say the same mentality as my father. Let's just say I have a complicated relationship with my father. And if I were to compare my brother to my father, he would beat me up in real life. He would go over to my house and break my door down. But he does have a similar mentality as far as just like, you can do anything as long as you stick with it and you are, disciplined enough to go with it. And I'm very much on the field of like, yes, that is very important to have that kind of mentality, but there are just certain natural things for your body that is not going to really change fundamentally without just like progression of age and your body just natural tendency to do things. Like, I can't force myself to be a morning person. I have tried. I have worked a job where I got up at 6:30 every day to get at work at 7:30 every day for 3 years straight. And then as soon as I stopped working, I didn't get up at 7:30 ever again. There was no transition. There was zero transition. I went straight to my normal circadian rhythm. And for me, that's normal circadian rhythm is 2 to 3 in the morning, and then waking up between 10 to 11 in the morning. That is where my perfect thing is. How I'm going to try to balance like a full-time gig with that, I have no earthly idea. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Because we're getting to that point. I'm looking at my bank account being like, I haven't gotten a cent from all this yet. I have bills to pay. I'm going to have to start applying soon. And it might be that I have to do like second shift or third shift. I don't think I could do a first shift again. Plus, I don't know if y'all know this, at least in the US, like second shift is a flat bonus to pay of 15%. And then third shift is a flat bonus to pay of 25%. So if you have the special rhythm for it, I don't know if I would do third shift. Third shift is that I work until like early mornings. But second shift, one, would be perfect. But the problem with second shift is that also eats up all my good energy. You know what I mean? Like, I think second shift at least in the job that I recently worked at, it was like 2 to 10 ish, which means I would spike up at the 2, flatline at 4, and then from 6 to 10 I would be on it. And then I guess I would go home and I would have 3 more hours of like good time before I would pass out. But I don't know. I don't know how I would be able to balance like streaming with a job that would also be beneficial for me. Or I would have to find a job that is flexible enough that I could come in. Like it doesn't require the full 8 hours. You know what I mean? Anyway, I guess enough about me. Well, actually, if anything, this whole stream is about me. And I thought of that because we're going to be going over the edited video that I made 2 weeks ago. And I felt like, is that really egotistical to go over that and have like a commentary kind of deal? But a part of me is just like, I want to talk about my like the lessons I learned with it and my favorite parts and why it's my favorite parts and just kind of look behind the scenes. But I also don't know if I want to do that with every single video that I come out. You know what I mean? Where I feel like that would kind of eat up a lot of this time where it's just like, I don't know if I want to join Idealist Chill Sunday because all he does is talk about his work. And I mean, I guess that's true. But one of the things I'm sure y'all realized is Mama Dodo has a little hat. In case it wasn't obvious, it is a face hugger from Alien Isolation that I drew for her for the gameplay of Alien Isolation, which is now finished on Tuesday, I want to say. No, it was Thursday. We didn't make as much progress for the game development as I wanted. But this week, for whatever reason, I was just really tired. I've, since then, I feel a lot better now. I've taken a little bit more breaks with it. But, just trying my best. You know what I mean? Just listen to your body, listen to your mind, but never give up. Give yourself breaks, but never stop. You know? You need to be kind to yourself sometimes. Sometimes a lot. And it's weird when I'm trying to like grow with YouTube, with Twitch, with expressing and trying to figure out what I want to do and how I want to go about it, all while having this ticking time clock of you only have a certain amount of time. And it's easy to feel like you're not doing enough. And I want you to know that that's, in a lot of ways, not your fault. I think a lot of us are raised in an environment where the reason you don't achieve things is because you just don't try hard enough. Or at least that's how the environment that I was raised in. Where it's like, why didn't you do better? Why didn't you just try harder? And I had to prove myself again and again and again and again and again and again that I wasn't lazy. That it wasn't about effort. It wasn't that I wasn't trying hard. It's just certain things worked for me, certain things didn't. And until I figured out why things didn't work for me and why things worked for me, like, I'm not going to be able to have control of it. And this energy motivation over time thing, I really do recommend for people to do. And if you can find a way to build your life around it, it really does make things easier. Or at least it did for me. But, just don't see yourself taking a break as you failing. Take a break. You ran a little too hard. I know I've mentioned it before, but pacing is so important. And I am a sprinter. I don't know if I talked about this. I was a sprinter in high school. 200-meter dash. I mean, I kind of joined it because my girlfriend was in it, but, all the guys knew. Everyone on the team knew. I was there for her. However, one, I was the only white kid on the sprinting team. And two, not that there's any problem with that. And two, apparently, like, I got a lot of respect because they were just like, he didn't give up. Like, he struggled every time. He is not, he struggled every time, but he went through it every single time. I never stopped short. I pushed myself every time to the end. And man, if that's just not a part of my personality trait. I mean, I say that, but I talked about it before as well, where it's like, I have a tendency to not finish things, but I don't know. I guess there are just certain things that I will finish and some ones that I refuse to. You know? This game that we are making, I want it to... This game in particular right here. Boop. We are going to make it. Now, is it something that's going to be made in 100 hours? Probably not. Because what is today? The 16th of June? Okay, we should be making the pause and end menu. To be fair, I think we have a pause menu up. But we should have created the NPC leavings, we created the resource system, write the phone scripts, make the phone calls, make the poster filters, make the music for the game. We should have been so far down. But not only did we get pushed a week because of a bug that we didn't know how to fix, but we also cut our streams from 3 times a week to 2 times a week because it was just too much. And then we got stuck on the map for like what, a week? I mean, we were on the map brainstorm here. Look at this. We were all over all of this, right? We were like trying to figure out as far as how many people live there, because we wanted everything to be somewhat static, but also random, or at least the houses are static, but the progress is random. Create emergent storytelling and stuff like that. But pretty much we finished the map. But we just need to now import it, make the connections, and then try to move forward, right? We'll see. But these are all the demos as far as trying to learn from. There was a couple of suggestions as like replacing resources and resources being unresponsive and potentially could be recovered. And then there was also a discussion with, who was it? I vaguely remember it was, I think it was Cutie Patootie, if I remember correctly, of the basically bringing up a lot of these interesting ideas, where you would have like a neighbor try to sabotage and send the mimics because like the neighbor's like fucking his wife or something. And I'm like, that's actually kind of interesting to have like the humans kind of manipulate your assumptions because humans are humans. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, so as far as game development, we are behind. I think we only got one good day out of it, where we finished the map, and then the second day was we just decided to do Alien Isolation instead, and then Friday was also very much that same kind of mentality, but we are trying Insound Mind, so try to do what we can, you know. Let's see. So we did that. If we look at the stream schedule, we go to our schedule. Okay. Let's see here. Today's the 16th. I didn't fill this out. Oh, that's because we didn't have we didn't have a chill day Sunday, so we're essentially going over 2 weeks worth of stuff. So last week, not this last week of the 10th, I mean the 3rd, We did Alien Isolation, we did some game dev, and then we finished the Dead Space edited video, which we're gonna go over, and I'm gonna commentate on it, and kind of give like what I've learned from it, things that I wouldn't say regret, but things where I'm just like, I'm not gonna do this again, and things that I'm just like, oh, I really love how I did this part. And you know, there were certain parts of it I've kind of fallen in love with editing a little bit. I think it's similar to game development in that it's very multifaceted. If there's anything that I can pinpoint right now that I feel like I need to get better at, is implementation of background music. I've noticed that my choices have been kind of like close, but not great. You know what I mean? They're just like, maybe. And from what I've been able to find on the internet, I think that just comes with experience in a love of music that I love certain kinds of music, and I love music that I love, but I don't love music in of itself. Hell, like, I didn't even like music until I was like 13-ish. It wasn't until I grew older that I realized it was just that I just didn't explore music because my relationship with music was tainted by my parents' choice of music was not mine. So like, it was always noise to me. It didn't bring out any kind of emotion. It didn't bring out really anything. It was just blech. I think it was either Evanescence or Disturbed, I think were my first like music that I loved. But anyway, so implementation of those and like the thoughts behind certain music, advocating certain emotions and making sure that it feels natural. So if some of the videos that I put out, they have like a little bit weird on the background music, I apologize, but I will get better. So that happened, and then I essentially kind of like crashed and burned. I probably pushed myself a little too hard with it. So then this week happened, and then you know, I just wasn't at 100% pretty much all week. I just pretty much took breaks where I could, but I feel better now. I feel good now. I am working on another video. It's not content warning. I am working on what was it? It was Botany Manor video. I'm gonna add Botany Manor video on this week, edited. As far as shorts go, our shorts are pretty good until like July 3rd or so. And I have adjusted my work schedule in a way. My stream schedule is still going to be the same. It's still going to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I am liking our current schedule for streaming. I think it gives me enough time to work on other things. It feels like that I'm steadily progressing in all the different areas I want to progress. But now what I'm going to do is that I spend a week editing a video, essentially like a week and a half ish, because that's how long it took me to do the Dead Space one. But that's also a week and a half of the first time of me ever doing it. Right? There was a lot of backtracking. There was a lot of me repeating things. So I think I could do it in a week relatively easily. But what I am planning on doing, and if I could go back, I would have done this with the Dead Space one as well, is that I work on a video for a week, and then what I work on, I'll split into 2 weeks. So instead of one 30-minute video on a Saturday, it's one 15-minute, like every 2 weeks. It will be one 15-minute video on a Saturday, and then the following week is another 15-minute video. But that's already been done and completed. All I need to do is just like draw a second thumbnail or something. And then that week, the week where the second video comes up, I work on stream stuff. This is like overlays, emotes, animations, like things that I've been wanting to work on, and like lore videos and things like that. And like the design for the VTuber model, right? All this stuff has been put in the back burner because I've been so busy with all this other stuff. And like that's part of the like Triforce here that's just been neglected, of like between streaming, YouTube, and then like making creative content. And this will allow me kind of like a week on, week off kind of deal, where I would just keep on doing that. And then I've also decided that I don't really care anymore as far as shorts. Well, not shorts in general, but I mean, the way I was going about shorts was just like, I wanted the shorts to dictate the when I'd make the next video of that thing. AKA, my first video they made for Dead Space had like 16 shorts or something tied to it. I wasn't going to make a part 2 unless we showed off all 16 of those shorts. Then I can make the second one to come up. And then on that second video, I'll put out those shorts, etc. And it was really difficult to like try to time everything because the amount of shorts that I made was also ridiculous. My first Dredge video was like 30 shorts. And then I also made a game dev one the next week. But these were the ones where like all I did was make the shorts, throw a bunch of like quick, like 2 seconds snippets of funny stuff happening in the first bit of the VOD. And then it was just the live stream VOD, just pasted in. So then there was like no other editing stuff to it. And, you know, obviously people clicked on it and they're like, ooh, this might be fun. And then they find like, oh, it's just a VOD. And then they click off. I think it was like 1% retention. It was bad. So I'm like, if I'm going to put all this work into it, I want to have higher retention, which is why we moved on to making a completely separate channel for VODs. And now the main channel is for like strictly edited videos. I haven't taken down the other VOD ones with the different thumbnails yet, but I probably will once I have like, or at least I'll go back and then just like remake it once I have like a good amount of other material, because as of right now I only have Dead Space that's fully edited. That's it. I'm like, that's not enough content for people to enjoy. People are gonna see I had 3 videos and be like, damn, this guy doesn't have anything up going on. But I mean, I only started a month ago, right? So this is gonna be the month. This is gonna be the month update, right? This is us kind of going back being like, well, how'd it go? After a month of YouTube, how did it go? Right? And what was I saying? I honestly forgot what I was saying. I know we were going to split it up. We're going to release it every week. The original Dead Space ones I could have split in half as well and gone it down that way. Oh, we're not linking the shorts. So, like, it was to the point where I didn't need to put out a video for like a month because we had so much shorts flying around. And because I was only releasing one a day, but I was having them rotate, right? But I had like a 30 shorts and then another 30 shorts and then like a 15 or 20 shorts. And like all that together means it's like, cool, I don't have to make Dead Space Part 2 until 3 months from now. And I'm like, bro, I want to get out more videos other than just 3 FN, 2 of which are practically null because they're just VODs. And so I was like, I don't want to put out another video and then extend it further. But this was like literally yesterday where I was like, you know what? Because there's two ways to go about it. I release a video which had shorts tied to it. I then only show those shorts until they run out, and then I get out the next video and then show only those. And I'm going like, if I was a viewer, I would have been so sick of like the same, like, okay, because not the whole point, but a lot of the reason why shorts are there in the first place is so that people watch the shorts that are then interested, so they watch the long form content, or they then join the live stream, right? It's to promote myself, it's to advertise myself, it's to bring eyes to the stream that Twitch itself has issues doing, right? That also means that I should probably also dip into like Instagram. I really don't want to do Twitter. But I also don't know what would be. I have some ideas as far as Instagram, but I kind of want to use Instagram more as like another lore outlet, less demanding than the videos that I want to make, but are just like once a week I'll release like a picture of like Mama Dodo looking like that she's grabbing like a selfie stick or something and running away as the idealist is trying to grab it and is like, just want to post of, and then it's just like a couple random stuff, and obviously Mama Dodo just took and then ran with it. Like little funny things where you got to see a little bit more of the background and the life that they're having and stuff like that. Like I love that kind of storytelling, right? That isn't just that's not like cringe, you know what I mean? Where it's like forced. And I felt I guess you know that League of Legends hero, that your champion that came out and they did like a whole social media thing with it? From an outside perspective, I thought that was a pretty cool idea, but from what I understand as far as how they went about it, it was kind of it felt forced kind of deal, where it was just like, hey kids, I'm one of you kind of vibe. And I don't want that. It's very much just like you just see they're not trying to promote anything, but of course they're trying to promote me in a way, right? But it's not like, oh, Idealist drinks the Grimace shake, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do fads and fucking shit like that. And I sure I've mentioned this before, but I plan on how Idealist's lore is going to go out. I plan on any and all sponsorships that I do are going to be lore accurate. And I don't mean like, welcome to Raid Shadow Legends, Idealist plays Raid Shadow Legends. No, I mean like, is it Brilliant, I want to say? It's not Luminosity, that's something different. Brilliant, sign up. Yeah, I think it was Brilliant, where it was the learning platform and stuff like that. And I personally, I don't know, I feel like, especially with me trying to develop all these different skills and develop myself and grow myself and try to get better in so many different multifaceted areas, I feel like when I was kind of like making the game plan of everything, I feel like those kinds of companies that are very much aligned with, we make money off of people trying to better themselves would then like try to, you know, reach out. And then in my mind is like, well, let's think of a good character that may play into that role, right? So I have thought of a potential thing where it's kind of like a big brain that controls like a bunch of like you know, more serious, but Mojo Jojo's, where it's just like chimpanzees with brains in the jar kind of deal. You know what I mean? But I think it would be fun. And that's kind of the thing where that's the missing piece in all this. More than the Twitch streams, more than the YouTube videos, the lore of the Idealist and growing that and making music for it and art for it and making a narrative storytelling and then tying that to benefits for y'all in the stream. That's one of the, if not biggest reason why I'm streaming in the first place. And I haven't touched it. Not that I've been able to do it as much. I guess I could have gone more in that direction instead of YouTube, but I also felt like YouTube is what allows people to come in. If I don't have a decent YouTube presence, people don't know about me. And then I make announcement to nobody. You know what I mean? But anyway, I keep on getting sidetracked. But long story short, I don't care about tying the shorts to it anymore, where you're just shoving all the shorts in one time. I feel like that would get really annoying. Hey, Tinnitus. What are you up to? Instead, I'm going to spread it out. You know what I mean? And then that way, it's like, oh, if I release something, it's, you know, more spread out. That's awesome, man. You having a good Sunday / Father's Day? I don't know how it is over where you are, but it's beautiful over here. A little too warm for my liking. I'm a hot person by nature. I like it cold. Just talking about what we accomplished over the week, what we're planning on doing next week, and then we'll be moving on to going over analytics and metrics. But feel free to kick up and relax. Get a drink. Just playing some Magic? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Are you on Arena? As I look over at my box of Magic cards that are sitting there, I may partake in a little bit. Well, that's awesome. Especially with the new set that came out recently. I'm excited. I'm still waiting for my commander deck to get in. I got the Limmergoyf, whatever you call it. It's the graveyard one. The black, red, green, I want to say. It was one of those ones where all, like, a couple of friends and I try to get different ones. And then we have a non-upgraded battle between the 4. And then upgrade them and then have another one. So I was kind of one of those ones where I was just like, all of them look cool, I'll pick whatever. So I got that one. I haven't played a whole lot of graveyard decks. So this is going to be an interesting one. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I also heard it was like a sleeper hit, and I was just like, ooh, excellent. Perfect. I am currently cursed with making commander decks that I can't cut any cards from anymore, and then they never get built. So that's where I'm at in life. Which I'm sure is relatable. All right. Let us move on to... yeah, definitely same. Let's move to exercise tracker. So one of the things that I do on Sundays is that I talk about the progress as far as like working out, going to the gym and stuff, to kind of keep myself accountable, because otherwise I don't go. So I don't know if you also do that as well, but it is fine if you don't. Let's see here. This is the daily schedule. All right. So, I mean, you know what? We can hold each other accountable if you want, even if it's a little bit. I try to go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, where I do different like muscle groups. And then I do Thursday, where I work out with my brother, who is a personal trainer. And I wish he gave me the family discount. He does not. That's just expensive. But, you know, I give money to my brother. I help support his life and his life choices. And, you know, spend time with him that I normally wouldn't. So I figure I consider it a part of that whole process. I know, right? I mean, listen, he makes good money. Not as much money as he wants, but he makes good money. But he knows his shit. He got a degree in like muscle training and everything. So the kid knows what's up. He's smarter than my ass, certainly. And I have a master's degree. Let's see here. Let's pull it up. Alrighty. So I think we have 3 weeks? No, 2 weeks. I think we have 2 weeks to catch up on. So the legs core, 270, 24, 280, 21. I know, right? No, he's definitely, to kind of like get his personality right. He's essentially, so he's 2 years younger, right? And we're the same person, but just polar opposite personality-wise. So he's very like stoic and like sergeant kind of vibes to him, resting bitch face, really dry humor, you know, difficult to get along, but a very nice dude overall, like kind of vibe. And I'm not that. But essentially we're the same person, but we're just like, no, we're not. It's like, yeah, you are. We've been told all our lives it's the case. 270, 42, 280, 43. Then we got 130, 21, 140, 15. So it looks like we're making good progress overall. 228, 210, 33. At least in the core. Exactly. Two different sides of the same coin. Let's see, 220. So we did dip a little bit there, but then we shot right back up. I think last week I was just tired last week. A lot of these was like, I progressed like maybe like 2 additional reps, but that was about it. Let's see here. No push. We got 180, and then we only got 5. So I think what happened here, I even put in parentheses that I did this last. So a lot of these, I do these in a certain order. Blame the heat. Honestly, yeah. I don't know. I don't know where you set the temperature wherever you live, but I like. There's a reason why my electric bill tends to be so high. I like it like the highest I'll go is like 72, 73 if I can help it. 74, like I'm sweating. A cool. Tinnitus. That I'm jealous. A cool 65 in the summer. Oh. Bro, I don't got that kind of cash to make it down to 65 during the day. No way. There's no way I would be able to do that. 65 is what I would put the heat on in the winter. You know? Like where it's just nice and cold. Or I would just turn the heat off overnight and then I'll just wake up for it being like 61. And I'm just like, time to get up. Because below 65, I just become non-functional. I just become just a cozy thing in a bed. Let's see, chest press, and then 180, 19. Okay, so we shot back up. Excellent, perfect. Then we got 110, 18, and then 120. Only 8 for the overhead press. We'll try that again at 120 this week. If we can't get any higher, then it might be just too much weight. Only doing 8 feels like not a lot. 1 and 7, and then I do have an NA here. Probably because somebody took the machine and I didn't feel like waiting. I do that occasionally. As long as I don't do it consistently, I think it's fine. It looks like I've stagnated on the fly delt at 180, which is fine. You know, your body's only capable of doing a certain amount of stuff, so it may be that 180 is just my cap, or at least for now. So we'll stick with it for a while. If it stays too long, then I might ask my brother to do a little bit of fly delt exercises on Thursdays. to kind of like double dip a little bit, kind of give it another opportunity to grow and get a little better. Let's see, for rows, it was 180, 11, and then 180, then 15. Excellent. Good progress. 160, 13, 160, 17. Then 90, 11. Oh. 90, 12, 90, 11. Sorry, it's just something's not lining up. But my house stays as an icebox. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Not gonna lie. I wonder if I flip these. I might have. Or maybe I accidentally like deleted something. Whatever. We're at 90. We finally got over the 13 mark. Some progress, I suppose. And then 160, 14, and then 160, 15. Man, the pull, I'm just going like one rep at a time. But listen, progress is progress. We don't shit on that. Okay, so overall, we're doing well. We're doing good. Last week, the chest press was a little concerning, but I usually do those first. But that week I did it last, so maybe I just overextended myself. All right. I think let's move over to what we're planning on doing next week. Let's go to schedule. I have way too many Excel sheets, dude. We're working on the Botany Manor video. On same deal as far as, let's go ahead and just do something like this. Nah, let's just straight up. Insert. There you go. Alright, instead of Alien Isolation, we finished Alien Isolation. So now, on Monday and Thursday, we're going to do In Sound Mind, which I've been liking. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty fun. Game Dev, Monday, Thursday. We're going to be working on finish Botany Manor videos. And then we're going to be trying out releasing both this week, like working on 1 week, work on a video, but then split it into 2 videos for the following week so we can work on stream shit. Granted, looks like next week I'm having a get together for Magic, so maybe not so much as much as I would want, but hey, so you need to learn it. You need to socialize in order to stay at least mentally sharp. As much as that frustrates me as someone who tends to be very introverted. Okay, so let's go over analytics then. Analytics. All right. So, this is the end of the first month. The end of trying super hard on YouTube and seeing how it goes. But pretty much for, let's see here, let's filter out anything that is unlisted. So we got the 3. Well, technically 4. I did also make a shorts compilation video for the ones that were not editing fully. I did see, I think it was probably Vidoc or something like that. I forget the name of them, but essentially it was they talked about utilization of short form content into long form content. And at first I was like, well, if I'm planning on going down the route of making edited, like shortened edited videos, which I am, like there's no point making edited videos and then getting shorts from those edited videos and then make another video of those shorts. That feels redundant, annoying, and also it also feels like you're trying to double dip in like a really skeezy way, and I don't want that. But for the first two here, essentially all I did was just go into the VOD, make shorts, and then just made the introduction have like a bunch of like parts of like the highlights, but the rest of it is just a VOD, and you could tell. I'll show you. Look at the analytics for this. It's 1% retention. They don't like the VODs, man. So yeah, no. So getting essentially nothing wrong with using all the platforms to put yourself out there, man. Oh yeah, no. Like, utilization of YouTube is fine. It's the making a long form and then short form of that long form and then a long form of the short form of the long form feels a bit extensive. It feels like a little bit of double dipping. But in the VOD situation, I don't have an edited video to put out there. So essentially, the quote unquote, the edited video would be a culmination of the shorts. So I'm fine with doing the shorts compilation for the VOD stuff. But from now on, because I don't plan on doing the VOD stuff again, I like the actual editing process now. So there's only going to be essentially like 2 shorts compilation. Unless it does like, I guess if it does like really, really well or something, then maybe. But I don't know why you would want to see the shorts compilation when the edited video is just a little longer version of it. As far as how it went, the analytics, it's definitely better than the 1% that it was before. But it looks like it's not really being pushed out as much. Like, we have like a couple of impressions. I'm not nearly as worried on impressions for longer form videos because they tend to be a little bit more sporadic as far as when they pop off. Because it will be like, you can have a video that sits for literal years and then suddenly it'll just spike, right? I was a lot more worried about short form where you only really get like 1 or 2 spikes and then it essentially disappears. Like, it just doesn't get pushed ever again. So, and there was one thing that I did notice which was really fascinating, and it was this video here. It's currently called How Did He Find Me Here, but originally it was called Sonic, and it was because it was a Sonic reference, and I thought it was really funny and I thought people would like it. And in the beginning, it had 4 people that it reached out to. 4. And I was like, hey, YouTube, can you push it out to maybe more than 4 people, my guy? And like, I took it down, I re-uploaded it, nothing different. And I was like, what the hell? Why are you only pushing it to 4 people? It was a 50% click rate. Why, of the 4 people you sent out, 2 people actually watched it? Why are you not showing it to people? And this spike here was actually after I went and changed the title in the description to not include the word Sonic. I think it didn't push it because it had Sonic in the name. I don't know why. I kind of want to test it and do another video just named Sonic for no reason whatsoever and see if it also gets the same treatment. But I thought that was really funny. People didn't necessarily like that one as much, but you know, there's a lot. Is YouTube hates Sonic confirmed? Maybe, bro. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of like real like sus Sonic content on YouTube, and they're just like, bro, we can't keep bringing this in front of people. Like anything named Sonic, or bringing that down. Sonic is down. Well, if I put it in Knuckles or Shadow, then it would have been fine. Anyway, it was a very amusing situation where I was just like, it was one of those things where I'm now, even though it's only been a month, I can now recognize which shorts are not going to do well. And like a lot of these that are still floating around are still leftover from literally my first shorts I ever made. So they're kind of like, ooh. But so a lot of them, when they do poorly, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. They didn't do as well. But then there are some of them that I'm just like, why did this go bad? So it's weird. However, I will say the one that released today, I'm noticing they're popping off. 800 views, 45% view. I'm loving it. So when I'm learning, people like text. People having text on the thumbnail, people will click. People like it. So from now on, if it's a short, I gotta have text on it. Because the other ones didn't, because I didn't know how to do it. And I still want to know. I don't know how people are doing it. I try to look at everywhere. It's the color subtitles with the white outline with the black outline around that white outline. Everywhere I look on the internet, in YouTube and everything, they're like, we can show you how to do the white outline. I'm like, no, I want the double outline, because some of my colors are darker, but I do black outline, which then makes it not stand out against dark backgrounds. It's definitely somewhere in DaVinci. It's definitely somewhere in there, or maybe it's a different program or something. But it's probably going to be in a random Reddit thread in a random comment that's just like, oh, you just do this and this, where it's like, because there's another section where it's like a drop shadow and you could potentially make that, but the shadow looks different than an outline. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's, as soon as I learn how to do it, it's gonna be a game changer. But overall, we're ending the month with going from essentially 2 subscribers to 77 subscribers, which is great, especially for the first month. That's crazy. We had 2 videos pop off. One of them was the Dredge video, and then one was from the game dev video. So there does seem to be a good amount of love for both, which is exactly what I want. I will say that I think part of the reason why there's a lot of the Dredge shorts now aren't doing well is because I made like 30 of them. So they have been going on. Let's see here. I'll show you. I released that video the 17th of May, and they don't stop until the 26th of June. There have been shorts videos happening either like every other day or every third day for like 2 months. So people are probably fucking sick of it. And that's kind of the problem with like making 30 shorts from a VOD, is that people are gonna be like, after 2 weeks, I noticed a dip where it's like after 2 weeks, people are like, bro, we're good. And if I want to bring people onto the long form from the short form, I don't want them to like watch the short form, go to the long form. They're like, okay, that was pretty good. That was a good time. I liked that. Or I learned some stuff or whatever. And then the experience that they get for the next like 2 weeks are shorts from the video that they just watched. That would be so annoying to me as a viewer. I'm just like, bro, like, why are you punishing me for watching your videos? So I like the rotation of different ones. So taking essentially the mindset of edited videos is like, instead of making 30 shorts, I make like 10 shorts, and then of the other 20 good opportunities to have content, I just make that a video. And that's what I did with the Dead Space one, essentially. Was that I think it was like 16 total or something, and then it was also, I had like 30 minutes left of the actual video in of itself. So no, I think we're on the right track here, especially the trying to get like spending a week working on a video, then releasing it the next week. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I'm trying. I'm trying. I've only been streaming since March, and my first video for like YouTube was like May 17th. So I've only been I'm new. Like new. So I'm trying to learn what I can, grow where I can, and yeah. But I do plan on going over the Dead Space video today and just kind of like commentate, where it's like these points are the ones where I'm like, oof, I definitely should have removed this, or I liked this part, or I tried a little too hard on this part, or this is my favorite transition of the video. So I do plan on going over that today. I doubt I'll do that with every video I do, because that feels a little egotistical. But at least the one, especially with this being my first one. Have you thought about cutting up the VODs into like 30-minute segments and like making kind of episodes out of it? I considered it. I don't... Do people like unedited VODs as long as they're in bite-sized pieces? Because I feel like it's the fact that it's not edited that doesn't grab their attention versus like it's a 4-hour video. You know what I mean? Because I have considered it. But unfortunately, I just don't have that kind of feedback yet to be like, hey, is this what y'all prefer? Because listen, if all they need is for me to cut it up into 30-minute segments and then like a little bit of editing here and there, it's less work for me. Like, I mean, yeah. But I think it kind of depends. I think some people would probably not like it, but then some people actually might. Essentially, the edited videos are edited from the VODs. The Dead Space ones we'll be going over, it's like, I think it was taken about like an hour's worth of the live stream, and it was a 30-minute video after that. I feel like I watch a lot of YouTubers who are streamers also, and they just chop up the VODs and edit a little bit and get a lot more mileage out of it. I mean, that's kind of what I did with the Dead Space one. For the other videos that I made with the Dredge and the game dev, it pretty much was just the VOD. But maybe if I made it so that it was like 30 minutes or just a little bit here and there. We'll see. We'll see. Well, it's certainly not like separate videos overall, so they're definitely still part of the live streams. But I'm very much in that trial and error feel, where it's like, okay, I'm still trying to see what works, what doesn't work. I mean, like a good example is the fact of like the thumbnail for this, right? Like I drew this. And I honestly enjoy making like different thumbnails that kind of give an impression of like the material that you're going into. But most of the thumbnails that I see, like what I should be doing is just transposing Mama Dodo here in front of like a recognizable title screen for the game. And then that's all that I should do. But like, I feel that's so boring. That feels like that's no creative space there. So maybe it's just one of those things where as I continue to develop my artistic skills and improve artistically, I'll reach a point where it's like it's good enough where the way I want to go about it doesn't look like dog wash. All right, let's see. Let's see here. Can I make this into game audio? Nope. Well, thank you for the verification. Let's just make this nice and simple, yeah. There'll be a brief moment of silence. Oh my gosh, it's just you and me and the thoughts. Oh. All right. Let's see here. Oh, that's funny. Look, I'm where I am on the video. So if I move myself, look, there I am. There's two of me. Who's the real one? I'm the real one, please. No, shoot him, not me, please. Okay, hold on. I need to move this so then you could kind of there. Okay, and then we'll just do that. It's a little blackness, but you know, at least I'm not then in the exact position to do it. All right. Okay. Let's see. And then let's also cut this down.
Bodies with arms and blades. There's bone lungs and lung stomachs.
Anyone who says living the dream is in a terrible mental place.
People get mad.
So
Wake up and
this
have your
beginning
daily bowl of
part,
ammo.
I need more ammo.
I really like the edits where you have
You in uniform?
little snippets of like funny things that happen.
My daughter's love.
Release the cute boy.
Like just the little tiny things where it's like it piques the curiosity,
He just gets flashbanged into his next
But-
outfit.
Right.
and then just of course the title card, right? And like when I watch videos and they have that like funny clip in the beginning, that it really does pull me into the video, where it's just like, oh, that looks funny. And I took the approach of instead doing like a bunch of different parts to it and then have that kind of mashed together. And if there was anything that I would try to use as like an advertisement for the video, like maybe like on Instagram or something, it would be that. It would be the little snippets in the beginning to be like, this, like, here's like 20 seconds of what is this video in its entirety. But I don't want that to also be the first part of the video if I'm using that to advertise the video. Because that's what they literally just watch the thing that the first thing that they come across is the thing they just watched. So they'll probably just drop it. So I'd have to essentially just remove it from the video itself and then put it as like a short or Instagram or something. And then the video just starts off normally, or keep it in the video and then just not use it. So I'm still trying to decide between those two.
Saying something.
Hello?
Introduction of the people. Also dictating as far as colors, as far as separation.
I ain't gonna do the impossible challenge.
This
For charity.
conversation about the difficulty of the game should have been completely taken out.
24 hours or something.
100%. That did not need to be there.
I'm technically blocking it a little bit. But I'm just thick like that.
I do like the zoom in on
Design,
Mama Dodo
Yoshimura.
when there's like important topics going on.
Ooh.
Ooh, I did find this one funny. Hold on. This is me talking about the fact of the rib cage.
The design of the Yoshimura was based around a rib cage.
Ooh.
This spinning rib cage makes me laugh.
Also have a fun fact about
It's so funny to me. Just having transposed pictures, just the yipping subtitles were also super good. I actually made this one into a short.
Train in the Bay Area when it goes around a turn, and it makes one of the worst
I-
sounds in history.
I try to find. Actually, you know what? Let's do captions like that, so that way if I talk over it, y'all can still hear. I tried to get a soundbite of that train sound that she was talking about, but I couldn't find it without just like ripping it off of someone else's video. And so what I did was in the shorts where they mentioned it, I put in the description like, hey, see this video if you want to hear it, because I just didn't have any footage of it. And it's not like, I guess I could have gone through Dead Space 1 up to that, play the game up to that point and then listen to it, but I don't know. I don't got that kind of time.
That's such a good fact.
This part,
We need to pull up the Tetris.
I kept this part because it was a good transition as far as like the story. I didn't want people to get lost as far as what was happening, but this could also have been completely removed because it's long. There's a lot of There's a lot of silence to it.
Release the cute boy.
Release the cute boy was, we definitely should have done it. Oh,
Yep.
I don't know if you saw it. The right transition, I try to then match to the transition of the next scene where he has the helmet on,
Boy.
where the angle, I at least tried to make get
You
the
ever
angle
walk
as close
back
as I
into your
could.
room and you like walk in and your animal's just staring at you like a weird way, like they didn't expect you to walk in. They're like you just like
Yes.
caught them.
I like the slow
Okay,
faded
yeah, I
zoom
walked
of the
back,
animals.
yeah, it's just
That,
like-
that was good.
Looking at me. I was like,
At first, I was planning on having this entire video where every single like thing that was said had a subtitle and caption with it. And I remember going through like the first couple minutes, even just to this point, and I was just like, this is such a slog. And I was looking at other like streamers and their videos, and it's very much not everything that they say. They do it for emphasis. And I'm still working as far as like what that emphasis should be, but for the most part, like it's difficult to say as far as what is worth emphasizing and what is not worth emphasizing.
can I help you?
And then there was another cut. The let me in one was also solid, but the cut
Fun
where it's
fact,
like it's the spinning,
Getting roasted by my children.
so it was a rotation
My
transition.
children now make noises when they sit down or stand up, like old woman groaning noises, like I do.
Oh,
Really
My
good.
1-year-old literally goes down to sit and goes, ugh. And she like goes down to sit, and I'm
That-
like, all right.
You don't know how long
Oh.
it took me to try to find a picture of an old man trying to stand up that wasn't like that wasn't just like covered in watermarks.
Okay.
I'm just like, bro, it's just an old man standing. It ain't that hard.
wait. Do you hear that?
This one also felt a bit long,
Hey, y'all, put your guns up.
but it
I
led.
had one
There
playing
wasn't a
the
good
banana.
transition for it, and it led to like other moments that I wanted to keep. So I essentially kept the whole thing to sacrifice a lack of good transition. And I don't think I have the instinct yet to know as far as like if it's worth keeping a slower clip if it means to not have a smooth transition in it, or if it's just better to just have the transition and then do like an L cut with an L cut, by the way, in case you don't y'all don't know, is where you have the sound of the next clip kind of happen a few, I want to say like milliseconds, or actually it doesn't matter how long, but before the visual. The sound happens before the visual, and from what I've learned, to help the transition between clips happen, just like 3 frames is all you really need of that sound, and it really does kind of smooth it a bit more. I tried to learn if I should be doing that for every time. Whereas just like there isn't really no rhyme or reason, you just want to do it. Wait, applause? Why did they think applause? Bro, there's no applause in here. Maybe I should work on the captions of this too.
Good thing this elevator door can't be opened. Oh my god! That was Jerry. He really hated elevator doors.
I also learned that I have a tendency to not remember the names of the people that I give in the in the game. I make a reference to this later, and then it's not
Me too,
Jerry.
Me too.
Oh look, the only weapon I'll be equipping in this game.
This is another example of like a slower scene where it's like in the game it's pretty cool, but as far as watching it, maybe considered like not as entertaining to watch. But I liked the scenes afterwards, so I wanted to keep
What
it.
was I doing? I remember. Thank you.
And as far as like the subtitles here, I learned how to like make them pop, and that when they like on the very first frame, they don't have They're like zero zoom. Like they do not exist. And then you make them get really big in the next 3 frames, and then the next 3 frames they actually go back to the size that you want them to be, and it makes like them always pop every time.
No problem.
Glad I can help.
TY chat. TY.
Oh, let's see if I could. Can I do that? Let's see here. Can I pause it just in time?
TY chat. TY.
There it is. I put wrong button here. By the way, good job, Idealist. That is not the right amount of asterisks on both sides. And I put it on the arm that swings, but man, is it so fast that you just don't see it. It's like, whoa. So you're just like, there was something there. There was something there, I guess.
Stop, no way.
I'm just going around randomly. I do notice that I like making fun of myself a bit. Whenever I mispronounce, whenever I hit the wrong button, I like pointing it out in the videos. Where I'm like, wrong button or miss is going to be a lot in this, and I find that little sense of humor just very funny, and like, I don't know, it just kind of gives this feeling of like honesty to it, that's like, I'm not afraid to like make fun of myself, you know what I mean?
Good thing I'm here just in time.
That's a funky little guy.
I definitely should have played a little more with that scene as far as subtitles, where like, I'm here to save you, and the guy dies. It could have been like saved in quotations. Or he's like, oh, that's a funky little guy, and then have like a tracker of that being like funky little guy with an arrow on him or something. Like, I could have definitely done something more with this scene than I did.
He's also,
Silly.
he's also full of goodies.
Oh, yeah, get him in the kneecaps.
See? Look.
I also should put subtitles / captions when we are talking over each other, because like, this was hard to understand what I was saying.
That's
Full of goodies.
Oh, yeah, get him in the kneecaps.
See? Look.
Yeah.
What?
Like, I was saying like, oh, it's full of goodies, and then it's like, you could barely hear that.
oh.
Goodies.
I will also say, granted, this was my first ever stream. This was like the first stream I ever did was this. And actually, no, second stream technically, because I think that day I did an earlier art stream or something like that. And my friend Leah in this, her sound was totally just awful. She was so much louder, and luckily YouTube kind of like condensed it better than this, but like, the raw sound is like, she was breaking that edge like often, and I was not skilled enough to be able to go through and just kind of like quiet her down to everyone else's level.
In fact,
So that's something to look out for in the future.
where is it? There you are. No?
Why
Oh, I
aren't
don't
you
have-
in uniform?
Yeah. Sir!
What? You in uniform?
You're indecent. I'm here to save you. Come on. Let's go. You and me. Am I gonna do this the whole way? Probably not.
Another example of where it
I
kind of
have
got
a stasis module.
slower, but then this part happened and I wanted to continue here,
Oh, look, a hallway.
which I probably should have cut.
And there's something right there. Man,
What I did notice, not until later, unfortunately, but the transition of while I'm looking down sights does allow a very smooth transition visually, as long as I'm looking down sights in both the end and beginning, it really does kind of smooth it over.
I can't wait to go down there. Hope nothing pops out at me and scares. Oh my god!
You okay, Idealist?
Oh my god! Oh, I'm so scary. Yes,
That was this transition's not great. I wish I could have done a little better with this, where it's like activating that and then I go straight to stomping. It's like, visually, auditory, like
person
audioly,
I feel like they should have used it.
it just doesn't work.
Idealist, I don't know if you heard, but you should check your
They're
chat.
the crew?
Oh,
How the hell can they
Hello.
be the crew? Look at them.
mod
We need
you.
to get to the bridge. Some people on board somewhere.
I did like as I'm reading other people's words on stream that I put up their image and then have them being a completely separate color. I do like that.
You really do have like the best name, Duncan.
And you're
Just
both
in
from
on
Paradise.
Twitch.
So how do we do this?
Oh, John's done a second Twitch stream.
Like I don't know if you could tell with her talk with Leah talking over there, but like she's very loud. Like YouTube did a good job to kind of uniform it, but like you could hear her mic breaking from it.
Mod you. I will. Do you want to be a mod? Well, I've seen what happens when Duncan gets a lot of power.
you?
So it's kind of like, do I want you to have that power again? You
I don't.
removed power
I'm
from
mixed
me.
of whether or not if we stayed a little too much on the mod talk.
Hungry. He wants to be the head of Discord. He wants to
But
be the
considering it
moderator in
leads
all
up
the chat.
to like
Okay,
the
wait,
joke later in the
yeah.
video, I feel like it's
He
worth it.
can't take away you being the owner of this profile.
That's what you think.
Because this, to me, this feels just like friend banter, which I feel like is amusing. I feel like it's fine.
That's what you think.
Keeping a clip because of good friend banter, I feel like is less heinous than keeping a clip just to look for a good transition.
See,
Now.
that's underestimating. You didn't ask for it back. I think I did, and you said for the bit, I'm not going to. I think that was how it went.
Well, I feel like that's
I'm
out of
not
his
going
control. That's for the bit.
The lack of control. Yeah, it is for the bit. Don't give it back to me. But I remember asking at one point, and then no, it was you gave it to me,
Oh,
and
see,
then
now
Slip asked for you to take it away, and then you did.
I will say, mentioning Slip, I should have also put in an icon and a name for. Because that's somebody that y'all don't have any idea who that is. And anyone who's watching don't. And then they're just like, who's Slip? Is it one of the guys that we've been introduced? I've introduced literally every other person in this discussion, but apparently not Slip. So that is one thing that I should have done.
That's what happened. So,
Oh, well, that's a pretty funny bit, to be fair.
But yeah, I'll mod it.
All of that to say.
Rude. Hey, aliens did it first, and then Among Us did it after that. So calm down.
The addition of the was a good touch. I liked that. I did like that a lot. I didn't like it as much that it was only in the left ear though. I didn't realize that till later.
You have to mod. You have mod in the Discord, but the second someone says to take a view, it's gone. Ah. That is your curse.
And then this is where they give me mod.
It comes for free.
And then
Hey, Duncan, can you take away Idealist's mod?
there it is. It was a good bit. Oh, wait, hold on. That was a good transition. No, it wasn't.
Hey, Idealist's mod.
There it is.
I think this was just... I don't really know how... I would need some kind of zoom in, zoom out. I don't know how I would have been able to do it. Maybe try to get the sound of the electricity shutting down with the sound of you exiting the save. I might have been able to do something like that. But I know that I remember there being like a good 20 seconds of like nothing in order between those two clips, and I just could not clean it up.
Think of stuff.
Isaac, don't bother shooting.
Oh, man, that's a good bit.
Doesn't
That's
even
funny.
slow us down.
Okay. The only way is hacking them apart. Those arms, legs.
Did that even kill them? Or did they just stop moving?
This is another one of those things where there's a lot of clips in this area, but like there wasn't a good way to transition with it, so I kept the whole thing.
Okay.
The excuse me by going by it was really funny.
Okay.
And then here's the miss. Bro, just poking fun at myself is so funny.
Well, he's got funny hands.
Don't make fun of him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There it is. I forgot which button was heal, so I hit all of them. Now I still don't know what.
See how it's kind
Also-
of like
also what
dips
I
as
do
far
in
as
every
like
game that I play.
there's a lot
Panic
of
and smash
science.
Every button that I have.
You'd be pretty good at fighting games then.
Thank you. I'm not.
Aw.
Oh no, he's coming right at us.
I feel like I should have done something here, but I still don't know what. The oh no, he's coming right at us bit.
Oh no, he's coming right at us.
Because after this, we switch to the next scene.
What?
No, Magic the Gathering is not allowed on this device. It has
Aw.
suggested to me solitaire? Do you mean solitaire?
You're too old for Magic the Gathering.
It said no.
You're a mother.
Absolutely not.
Mothers cannot be Magic the Gathering players.
And then this long,
There was another guy.
and then there's the
laying
bit.
around, minding his own business, and then I sliced their baby ankles.
I will say the tracking on that was a little messy, but to be honest, my camera I kept moving the effing camera, and in DaVinci there is like an AI tracking thing where if you highlight a certain area, as long as the contrast is good enough, it'll track the feet that I would have highlighted, and it would have been a lot smoother. But the game is just so dark that I couldn't get it to like actually track it. So I had to do it manually, which it feels like I did it manually.
Oh my gosh, I feel that's a personal threat.
I still haven't done the auto tracking. The editor answering the person in the video was also a funny bit
I think
to me.
that was an innocent necromorph that I just killed.
Um,
Ow.
Get-
Innocent? Oh my god.
Yeah, it didn't even react. I literally shot its ankles and it just screamed and died. And I'm like, oh. That's-
Wow, arrest that man. Arrest that man. There he is, officer.
oh, okay. So what I did here,
Arrest that man. There he is, officer.
I did the stomp noise and transitioned it to the gun firing in the next clip, and I think it actually smoothed pretty well. Yeah, I was a fan of that. I think the audio transitions I'm more of a fan of than the visual ones. I think as long as the audio transitions are more smooth, it's like it forgives the visual ones, because the difference between these two clips visually are very jarring.
Arrest that man. There he is, officer.
So it's just like bam, and then like you're zoomed in, you're in a different place. Like it doesn't click well visually, but audio,
Arrest that man. There he is, officer.
it just smooths it nonetheless. It's more forgivable, which is weird to think about. You would think the visual would be more important, but I guess audio, maybe that's why the L cuts work so well, is that just doing the like I wouldn't say bare minimum, but doing even a little bit on the audio transition edge is a lot less jarring.
More ammo. Good thing they all ate just an armory's worth of ammo before, like.
And then this is the beginning of the bit. So there's a big bit throughout a lot of this video where it's about, in a zombie apocalypse, what you need to do before you die is to just eat a crazy amount of ammo so that when people end up killing you, they could get a resupply. And it was such a like a big part of the discussions of this part, which is why in the thumbnail, like the guy has ammo in his mouth and stuff like that. And a lot of these shorts and a lot of the cuts here are kind of going into that, or at least playing off of that. And and then that's kind of where I feel like this could have been like 2 15-minute videos versus 1 30-minute video. Is like the first video would have been about the eating of the ammo, and then the second video, part of the video would have been, I don't even know, something else. Or maybe the second part would have been ammo. I don't know. But I still feel like I could have been able to.
You don't wake up
I feel like I
and
would
have
have been
your
able to
daily bowl
split
of
it.
ammo.
Yeah. It's like if there's a zombie outbreak, the first thing I'm gonna do is just eat just a whole lot of ammo.
Ingest ammo.
Just eat all the ammo, so that if anyone were to kill me, then they'd be like, "Oh, ammo, perfect."
Could probably swallow a bullet, but dude,
Ooh, that actually was a
Be
decent
like,
transition.
"Oh, ammo, perfect."
Is it because it zoomed out? No, never mind. It was a bad transition. As soon as I paid attention to it more, I was like,
bullet, but do not.
I mean, you can swallow it once.
I feel like I tried to match the door opening of the elevator and then the door opening in that room, but I have a feeling there was some kind of like audio in the middle of that happening that would have made it very jarring audio wise to make that transition. In hindsight, what I should have done was like messed with the audio with it, right? Made it more like a silent thing than I would have, and then just put that in the middle and then kept the visuals of the transition, and I think that would have been fine.
At
You can
least.
eat anything once, that's true.
Isaac, we can't stay here much longer. Hearing a lot of movement.
A lot of
you're
silence
hearing
there.
movement? Oh, sorry. Let me hurry up real quick
Okay,
as you just
Daniel,
sit
lock that
around
door.
waiting for me to do your job.
Oh, this one coming up is actually I want to say one of my favorites. It's not necessarily like a super great transition, but it is one of my favorite transitions.
I wonder what I'm gonna upgrade. The only gun I'm gonna use. Clap, 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 clap. And these kind
I don't know if you caught it. So I was kind of like, as I have a tendency to do, randomly sing. And it's like, the only gun I'm gonna use. Clap, 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 clap. And then on the last clap, I made the transition to the stomp in the next clip. So it feels natural, at least to me.
the only gun I'm gonna use. Clap, 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 clap. In these kind of games.
And it's like the timing is as perfect as I think it's gonna get, and I like that. I really liked that kind of like. I think my favorite transitions are audio transitions. Is what I'm learning.
You just wait for the music to go back to normal. That's how you know the game is done.
Well, that's a good point.
Did I go back up? Let's say if we're going the right way. Yeah, we're going the right way. So the guys can continue. Oh. Hey, hey, hey. Back, back, back. You know what? You get the boot.
Why did I keep this?
Don't you know that Isaac's stomp is like practically an elephant?
That whole segment probably should have been cut.
Yeah, we're going the right way.
Like this whole part.
That's a good.
That's how you know the game is done.
I don't think it really needed to be there. I will say, I do like this, where I kind of have the clicking of the subscribe button just be more of a natural inclusion in the editing part versus a kind of like an abrupt like, hey, if you liked my video, be sure to subscribe. And like just having it in there, hey Lux, how you doing? It's just having that in there where it's like, oh, it's something it's there long enough for people to notice it, and it kind of has a bit of a natural inclusion in the sense of I'm just spamming the stomp where I'm like, me clicking the subscribe button or something like that, which it's a little cringe, I'll admit, but at least I would like to try to attempt to make that kind of reminder to be more of a natural thing and less of an intrusive thing. Even if it's like a little animated Mama Dodo coming in the corner in the video or something. But having that be more of a natural thing in the video, I feel is more enjoyable. I could be wrong. I might get feedback where it's like, hey, do you mind just doing what literally everyone else is doing and just put it in the beginning, where it's just like, hey, please, if you like this video, please subscribe, and then that's the only thing you have to worry about. I don't know. We'll see. Again, this is the first video. But yeah, this whole thing should have been cut.
Don't you think Isaac Stomp is
Talking about Isaac Stomp being really...
practically an elephant?
See, this transition's also not great. Going into the save, I know what I was trying to do. I was trying to make the circle of the save be equivalent to the circle of the door in the next clip. So it's like, boom, boom. See? I don't know how to...
Stomp is like practically an elephant.
Yeah, see? I tried to do it. I didn't do it quite well enough where I feel that it
Stomp is like
feels natural. It feels like there's a frame or two missing. Yeah, like that. I think it's because like the zoom is different. Like you see how close he is to the screen, and then no, he's pretty much the same distance. Maybe the circle's at a different place in the screen, so you go from the bottom and then it goes up.
practically an elephant.
No, even that. It feels off. I don't know what about it feels off, but I need to do better because it still feels off.
I get to go with you guys, right? On the train, right?
This part, I so wanted to have a tracking thing on this guy falling, and it's like a guy late to work or something. I don't know. Some kind of joke with this guy falling down, and then I'm just like staring at him, and then I look up, and then I look back down, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But the tracking would not work, and I refused to do it naturally. I should have just done it manually.
Fuck it. Next to a baby doll. I don't. No, I won't. I won't. That's,
I do find that concern one pretty funny.
no.
I did miss the third. She did it. I didn't realize she did it a third time. I should have done it. Now this is my actual favorite transition in the entire video. I love this transition. So I'll let it play.
Please, Golston.
That. Oh my god, I love it. I love that transition. So that build-up sound is actually this scene. So this, for those that haven't played Dead Space, this scene is where the hallway goes dark and Isaac is starting to kind of lose his mind a bit, and there's that building crescendo of sound here. But then like I'm not doing anything, I'm not moving around, I'm just kind of like waiting for the scene to kind of do its thing. But there's a lot that like not a whole lot happens between these two spots. So I made like a super long L cut where I had that sound of it building up, and then as soon as the lights come on is the transition into the next scene.
That's no.
So
Golston.
the build up of the dark scene, and then as soon as the hand drops, we transition to the lights coming on. And I love that. I want to do more of those transitions in these videos because that's so good. That's mwah, it's so good. I think it's so cool, and I hope it's not one of those things where I will play where I like look at this video 2 years from now going like, man, I thought this was so cool, but that shit's cringe as hell. But no, I think like I've fallen in love with finding unique ways to transition between scenes, and I'm glad this video has kind of like awakened that in me.
It's probably just the wind. You know, space wind.
This is also kind of like a longer, more silent one.
Long neck.
Like a lot of nothing.
It's Aiko.
It is.
We talk about another friend of ours called Jacob, or Acob, which I should have also introduced as far as a visual thing on the video,
Short jacket.
so that people know it's not just a person that's there that they've forgotten the name
Was
of.
he bald?
Yes.
Oh, it is Aiko.
Hold on, I'll go back, I'll show you.
Now this one's also more subtle, but this is another L cut. This is when I fell in love with L cuts, where I'm just like, ooh, this is really good. You can hear the whispering of the next scene before the scene happens.
Yeah.
There, you hear it?
I'll go back, I'll show you. Yeah.
That whispering is the next scene.
Hey, stop whispering voices in my brain.
Oh,
AKA
sorry, my bad.
thoughts.
My bad, my bad.
Actually, this short that we're this part of the thing right now, that short is the one that's popping off right now.
Maybe, I'll stop that.
Honestly, a funny bit where the friends that you're talking in Discords are the voices in your head is a funny bit. I like it.
Oh, this room.
And then a little bit
Just
more
wanna
silent that I
know
would
we've
like.
been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
You're gonna keep trying. With that attitude.
If I was going to reply in text, I should have had Leah's text on what she was talking about.
Warranty.
So she's making a joke about like someone reaching out for car warranty scam calls, and then I respond
Just wanna
being like,
know
"You're gonna
that
keep
we've been
trying,"
trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
You're gonna keep trying.
which means if I'm gonna have a response to a joke, I should probably have the joke also be emphasized. So that's kind of on me. I should have emphasized it with text.
Audio log. I can listen to an audio log while I get attacked from both sides.
Vents into engineering.
Kinda
You got
hot.
a stasis module handy? We need one in
I should have when I said kind of hot, I should have been done a zoom in. Yeah. I also found it amusing that people didn't like that one as much. As far as the shorts go, like they didn't like the sexual jokes, which I find amusing, really. Like I don't have many of those, but I'm certainly not like against them.
Oh.
The autoloader's fried. I got a damaged tram.
Write that down, write that down.
Systems gridlocked.
Write that down.
Clip it, clip it.
Chat, clip that.
Hey, I heard that. Hey, come here.
I also really like
What
this
are you doing
part.
coming out of the vents like that? Do you have your permit? Do you have your vent permit? How about you?
I think it would have been better because I did this on the short. I didn't do this on the long form, where I kept flipping back and forth between me shooting and me talking about having a permit. And so there was a lot of zoom in, zoom out kind of things. And it added a lot to the chaos that I found really amusing. And honestly, it might be my favorite short of this entire video is this moment right here. And I probably should have done the same zoom here. Maybe not the text, or even the text, really. Pretty much did what I did in the short for this video, because it would have been pretty
Vents
impactful.
like that. Do you have your permit? Do you have your vent permit? How about you? Do you have your running permit? If you don't have your permit,
I
you
love-
get the boot.
I also want to emphasize this. I love hard cuts for comedy. So it's weird because I just talked about how much I love audio transitions and linking transitions between clips and things like that. And then I'm saying I also love hard cuts, and that's for different reasons. For the day-to-day, for the beauty of it, for the journey of it, good transitions that link to each other. I guess audio more than visual, more than anything, I guess. Like, I love that. I love it. But for comedic impact, for comedy, there are very few edits, in my opinion, that are more impactful than a hard cut in the middle of like a loud sound. It I don't understand it. I really don't. Maybe it has something to do with like a surprise. Like it's more of like a the same thing that plays on Peekaboo for babies. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of like, oh, like it ended before I thought it ended, and then that adds like an extra layer to it. But I also thought like the scene before where I'm like, click to the subscribe button or something like that, right? And I was considering putting it on this scene, but I didn't do it on this scene because I feel like it would ruin the comedic timing of what this scene provided. And I didn't want to distract people from that. Really wanted people to enjoy this moment where it's...
If you don't have your permit,
I
you
love-
get the boot.
And then just hard cut, you get the boot, bam! And then it transitions to me just watching a train. Is that juxtaposition is really funny, and I think I did a good job there.
It would be a shame if more guys just came out of the vents.
Instead of admiring the train, I should have said thinking about what I mentioned as far as two guys coming from each side. Because that would have been more of a natural progression as far as like, if I'm admiring the train, then why am I worried about what's coming out from either side, right?
Hey, you were late on your cue.
This one was difficult. So I'm not sure if you noticed it.
Hey, you were late on your cue.
This transition, I tried to link this stomp here to another stomp in the next part, right? And I tried to get the sound exactly. I still think I didn't get it right, but I went frame by frame trying to get that exact, and it was the only frame that was at least somewhat close to it. And I still feel like it's a bit janky. It kind of feels like it didn't quite fit, so I should have just done something else. And I think if anything, this video is a big learning experience in that aspect of knowing what transitions were not worth the effort of trying to make work. This falls under that, where it's like it was a good attempt, but because it wasn't good enough, it just comes off as jarring, and I might as well have tried to do something else that might have smoothed it over a little better. Granted, I don't know what I would have been able to do, because there was like a good 20-second silent shooting between the two, so it's like I didn't want to keep the silent thing.
Whatever will I do?
Myron the train again. This was pretty funny.
A nice like train replacement. Stop.
But then, like, I talked about it, so that makes more sense that I put, like, that I'm admiring the train, kind of like, granted, I always get caught up in, large machinery, doing large machinery things. So that makes sense, and then I talk about it. But the other one before, it makes less sense because I go off to immediately try, like, thinking about getting, ambushed.
Sneaking. Considering their lungs are made of like broken bones, they're really quiet.
And then this leads to another one of the bits of the video, which is the bone lung bit, right? And I might have played into it a little bit too long in this scene, but I also didn't know where I would want to cut it.
Heading back to tram control.
Lungs are made of broken bones.
Yeah, I mean their form is due to the infection essentially just rearranging their body.
Whoa.
So like
That's
you know,
kind of fucked up.
So you know how they have those little like swords or spears at the end of their arms?
But I also don't know how to feel about like little facts like that, you know? I kind of want to keep them in so that people kind of learn a little bit if they, you know, didn't know about it. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you know?
That's
Maybe
where
would people click off because they're just like, I know this, I'm bored. Come on.
bone's sticking out in the front.
The arm bone's connected to your bone lungs.
I did what?
Your bone lungs are connected to your.
I did better with this in the shorts, but when I stumble over my words, I shouldn't have kept the whole thing because I stumble a bit. I should have split it out where I like the visual, the audio matches the visual. I mean, it is also part of the making fun of myself thing, but
Lungs are connected to your stomach lungs.
the zoom in was a good touch. I liked the if there is silence, there should be movement visually. That's kind of what I'm learning as well, where it's like if there's a lot of nothing, there can't be nothing in both visual and audio. There needs to be something happening somewhere, and or people will get bored, including me, the one watching it and made it. So that situation where there's that long silence, but I'm zooming in on myself, like, it builds that anticipation. At least something is then like keeping your attention, right?
Okay.
Not that I'm saying like moments of silence and nothing doesn't also emphasize things, because it can, but it needs to be intentional. It can't just be a natural thing where it's like, oh, nothing's happening, so come here often, like that kind of feeling, you know. It needs to be intentional. And one of the shorts that I did make that is actually one of the game dev ones, I don't know when it's going to come out. I want to say maybe it's certainly within the next couple of weeks. It plays with that a little bit, but it's from a horror aspect.
Stomach lungs.
I meant to say stomach bone, but we're just going with stomach lungs. Let me
I liked that. I threw back to my own previous joke. That's pretty funny. And then having that transition of me trying to get into a door to actually moving to the open door on the other side was also pretty good. I liked this transition.
We replaced the train with another train.
I've thought also, I did make a kind of like subtext here where it was just like, oh, I forgot what I called him, Charles or something. And then it'll be like Arrow Charles.
Hey Charles, how you doing?
Yeah,
How are the kids? Good?
but I decided against it. I think I was tired of tracking at this point. I was like, fuck it.
I like I can hear the heartbeat.
I did.
I tend to also be a fan of those kind of cuts. The cuts of going into something and then cut to when I'm bringing it out. And I'm noticing with my edits for Botany Manor, I'm kind of doing very similar things where it's like going into looking at something and then zooming back out of something are good moments of transitions that feel very natural.
Bothered in his lane, thriving.
I liked this little bit that they had going on as far as the thriving thing. So I didn't have the heart to cut it, but because it also led to the baby, like the baby scene, I also thought it was I ended up just keeping the whole thing. But I am wondering if I probably should have cut this too.
Bothered in his lane.
I think I also was proud of the saving cut. I think I was also I was so proud of that I wanted to keep it. Certainly not the most heinous thing of this video, but I think it's one of those that could have been on the chopping block.
Bothered in his lane, not thriving.
I almost killed myself there.
The taking it back was a good touch. I like that.
Interesting.
Babe, what should we, the humans, do for dinner?
Oh, excellent question.
Oh, the baby's doing a headstand.
This is an example that of me trying to put music in the background, and I think it's funny. I did this in the shorts, but I definitely should have done it here where I zoomed in on the baby on the screen. I should have done that here as well. I just kind of put like cool music in the background. I was like, oh, this guy's a badass, like kind of motorcycle driving music in the background, but didn't do anything visually.
The baby's doing a headstand. And it says, fuck it. This kid's pretty fucking cool. He doesn't care.
I will say, I think I did this by accident. I don't remember thinking about this. The transition of that music ending at the screech of the necromorph did allow a good point to stop that background music. And I think that was completely by accident. But at least I know that now.
Sidestep. He wasn't anticipating going slightly to the left.
I don't.
Another situation where I hard cut on a loud noise. And luckily Dead Space is full of those opportunities with the fact that he's just so loud when he stomps. The stomps are so loud. So it's great. It's perfect. I do like the insert Dead Space what do you call it? Spaceballs reference here. I like that. That one was pretty funny to me. That makes me chuckle. I think I also like I like audio transition and visual gags is what I'm also learning about myself.
I don't know. Beck is not back, and I have the door to my office closed because otherwise puppy screams.
So I kept that first part, this up to puppy screams, to give context because the original cut was gonna begin at puppy screams. Honestly, I should have kept it. I should have kept where it just transitioned to puppy screams. So people are just like, what? Oh man, I should have kept it. That's fine.
I like how they left without it. They're just by. They don't wait. They don't even try. They literally don't call me until after they leave, just in case I made the discussion of, hey, do you want to wait for me?
Protocol. Hammond, people are dying here.
Oh, I remember why I kept it. I was like, why did I keep this? I mean, I made a good point, but it's not it's not worth the video, you know?
The protocol is dying.
It was a discussion about dying, and now we're talking about zombie protocol, aka the eat ammo protocol.
We stick to procedure. We'll get through this.
Bro, we have an actual real-life protocol for zombies. There's a protocol for this.
I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit on your end.
I don't know what it calls for. Maybe it's saying every single able-bodied civilian eats ammo. I don't know. I'm not part of the government,
Who are we to declare that to the world?
right?
That's exactly.
So this is where I transitioned between me checking the lines, and I think there's like another like 5 seconds I want to say of silence, and then I do it again. So I transition between the two. Unfortunately, it wasn't exact enough to not make it feel like a truly good. See, and that's another thing too. Audio, I feel like it's easier to disguise the almost parts of things, whereas video, if it's almost a good transition, it's still a bad transition. You know what I mean? Like, you can really tell the faults in it just because it's so close together. It's like, I don't know if a lot of people care about this. It's like if you have like the same color but just slightly different color. You know, you have like different shades of blue, and you're just like, why do you have different shades of blue? Like it throws it off. You know what I mean? So, all right.
Declare that to the world.
So you do the thing,
That's exactly.
and then there's that weird zoom. There's like a weird zoom. I feel like if I just messed with the frames a little bit, like 2 frames off. I feel like it was 2 frames off. It would have been a perfect one.
Exactly what it is.
What?
That every able-bodied citizen needs to eat as much ammo as humanly possible.
If you're infected, you must eat as much ammo as you
Immediately.
immediately.
And then silence. Oh, this whole scene. So there's this whole scene that leads into talking about ammo, talking about stuff, like really good bits. But there's so much just like going down this hallway of nothing happening that I don't know. I definitely should have been a little bit more trigger happy with cutting. I think.
I hear you.
Like this whole part should have been gone.
Oh, you. My stomps literally break bodies in half. I am not afraid of you.
Me talking about Isaac stomps, I don't think anyone cares about. I don't know why I kept both instances of me talking about that, but I did.
Cut off their limbs. I wonder if I'm supposed to cut off their limbs.
Right, there's this long scene where not a lot is happening. And then there's this scene. It's a flashback.
Ah, Roberts.
This is pretty funny. I thought this was pretty good. I don't know if I 100% agree with how I went about the flashback, but I think for the most part, I like the fact that I have a flashback here. I find it funny that what I probably should have done is, instead of his name wasn't Robert, I would have found out what the actual names I gave him. I think it was James is what I gave him. I would have put James next to him and then have that crossed out, and then beneath it put Robert. I think that would have been funnier.
None of his pieces are around anymore.
But I did like I gave myself a flashback within the same video.
Cleans.
I think that was pretty funny.
Housekeeping.
But this also could have been like part 2 of this, like the second video that I make, which then would have flashbacked to a different video. Like that would have been just as fine, I think.
Housekeeping. Just a.
I like the idea of one of the zombies like still going around, like trying to clean things up.
Going here, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're safe. You're totally fine." Come on, let's see it.
My
No.
goodness, thank goodness you're safe.
Come on, come on. I know you're gonna do it. Come on. Here, I'll help you.
I think I will continue doing the miss and wrong button things throughout the whole thing because it's just funny. It's so funny to just be like, dumbass. And I don't feel as bad because it's me. I'm doing it to myself. It's like, stop hitting the wrong button, dude. Like, come on.
There you go.
Not idealist walking around the spaceship saying, "Oh, look at me, my guard is down. I'm so vulnerable."
Oh no! If only there weren't any necromorphs around the corner. Cock's gun pulls out ammo from back of throat that swallowed
Oh
earlier.
my god.
I think that might be. Listen, there are certain things that are my favorites of this video. That I think is my favorite joke of the video. Is the pulls ammo from back of throat is really funny to me, especially in context of the actual video itself. I really do love it.
Throws up 3 rounds of ammo.
I need more ammo. Ooh. Oh god. God.
What is the stomach if not just a backpack that's inside of you?
That was a good transition. I think I framed that really well. The closing of the door and then the door coming down on here really did add like a good transition. So I did that one well. It was less jarring. Let's look at it again just in
If
case.
not just a backpack that's inside of you.
Yeah. No, that was smooth. So that one is, I actually lined up the frames pretty well. So what I'm learning from that is like there's no, you either got it right, there is no good enough. When it comes, there's probably good enough for audio. But for visual, there's not good enough when it comes to transitions. It has to be good or you find a different way to transition.
Isaac, we made it
Oh,
to the bridge.
big stretching puppy.
Right.
That was one of the Leo quotes where she blew out the mic. And I was like, how am I gonna turn her down? Luckily YouTube did it, but like, my God. This one was pretty funny. I forget why I kept it in the first place. I tend to so like I like reading stuff out loud when I do Twitch streams because I feel like I narrate well, but I also don't. I know that people watching the video aren't gonna want to sit there and watch me read things out loud unless it's like directly like related to what's happening, right? But I think it was like discussion about propaganda, I want to say. So I didn't want to cut out the whole thing or else it would just be weird. So I do find this pretty good.
It is.
So what I will say, do you want to know what the name of that song? It's like Dodo Paradise or something. I literally went to YouTube audio library and I just put in Dodo because I was like, I need some kind of like loading thing, like sound, or for the Twitch stream, like insert in the beginning, as well as like any other future of like 3 years later, like that kind of thing. And I just put in Dodo to see what came up, and then there was this reggae Dodo song, and I was like, actually, this is kind of perfect. Oh God, I love it when it comes together like that.
Today. Aw, that sounds like propaganda nonsense. I've worked at companies long enough to know propaganda when I hear it.
It's true. That is true. Also, could have been completely cut. I don't think I needed to keep the talking about propaganda. I probably should have just cut it.
Shit, what could possibly go wrong? Get the ship running! Get the ship.
That first 5 seconds of me going out and that silence and then finally getting up, I probably could have cut. The moment I started talking is probably when I started transitioning.
Get the ship running! Get the fuck out of here! I mean, that's what I would be doing. I would be screaming down that hallway. Like, you need to get out now! There are bodies with arms and blades. There's bone lungs and lung stomachs.
There's bone lungs.
So unfortunately, this was one of those times where the like there's stuff that I wanted to keep in there, but what ended up happening was that there was a lot of stuff happening in the background as far as the voice, like the people talking. I think Leah was playing with her baby. At least that's what I'm assuming. So like I'm like we're talking, we're making these bits, and then like all that stuff is happening in the background, and it's all on one audio track, right? Because it all came from the stream. So it's not like I could cut her down specifically. It's something that like I either cut the whole thing or I don't. So this is one of those ones where it was like the content is good, but the quality is bad. And I'm still not 100% sure if it was the right decision to keep it. But I know on the shorts, I ended up cutting it.
Is that blood?
Haley, I need you to listen.
They hit me with the stomach lungs. We gotta get out of here.
I got the stomach lungs, Pa. I got the stomach lungs.
No, the comms are still out. Isaac,
We need the Killian fixed now. Got a
Bro,
damage report.
Princess, carry her and just get the fuck out.
I don't know why I said Princess Carrie. I meant over the shoulder.
Like, I want to just take her and leave. Another body to at least fight. Her arms still work. Like, give her a gun and then just carry her and just let her shoot. Like, don't damage report. Yeah,
Put her over your shoulder. Yeah, I was gonna say, put her over your shoulder. She can shoot behind you as you run.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but I think people, or at least what I've gotten feedback before, is that people tend to find my rants entertaining. I don't go on rants often, But like a rant like that where it's like, oh, just work with me here. And sorry, there's a little fruit fly. There's been fruit flies flying around. I've been trying to figure out why that's been the case. So that's why I decided to keep this whole kind of bit, even though the quality wasn't as good. But maybe, well, hopefully I won't have to make that decision in the future. But I think it's pretty good. Sorry, this might be loud. Did I get it? Did I get it? I might have gotten it. Sorry if that was loud for y'all.
Put a little carry like a backpack, but like straps around your shoulders so she's facing back, and then she can shoot behind you as you're moving forward.
See,
You know
like
what?
all that audio that was happening
Damage
while I was
report.
talking.
We're fucked. That's the damage report. Look at this. Look at all this mess. There's literally still fire happening. Active fires as we speak. We're fucked.
Damage report. All of it.
If it was separate audio, I would have been able to like cut her out for that.
That's not damage.
What camera did we hack into to see that image?
And then you turn around and she dies. I should have put a little asterisk thing there saying that dies. I will say I like the way I did the short for this, which again is not one that has released yet, but I do like how this turned out with it.
This explosion is cooler on this one than
I think this transition.
Tall Tale Sigh of She's Dead.
That's when I realized, looking down the sights, it doesn't matter if the rest changes. Looking down the sights adds enough anchoring that the transition is a lot smoother. So knowing this, I probably should have gone back a little bit more and maybe messed with some of the other ones. But at this point, this took like a good week and a half, and I wanted this to only take like a week. So like it bleh, you know. I was tired by the end of it. Just in case the following week of me not being able to do a whole lot wasn't indication enough.
No, I'm not losing two good people for nothing.
You've lost multiple. Well, yeah, it is too. Never mind. I thought it was more.
Missing an asterisk there. Good job, Idealist.
So we find Captain Matthias. Track his rig.
Oh, this long hallway.
Okay, here. Captain Benjamin Matthias.
Just nothing. Listening to these guys just for this leading up part.
Bro, have you not looked around? Of course the captain's dead.
That I didn't need to keep that. I don't know what I would have been able to transition into on this other one, but I really didn't need to keep the of course the captain's dead. That's not worth it. Oh, one thing I don't know if y'all noticed for Mama Dodo's icon jumping up and down with the head crab. I did paint a little baby alien in Mama Dodo's chest. You know, Mama Dodo is a mama for another one. So just wanted to point that out in case it wasn't, because it's not as obvious, but I at least wanted to point that out. Not in the video, in the live stream.
Oh, I bet this was the reason why people got mad. Do you see the three symbols? Girl, boy, and then non-binary.
So for context of this, I mentioned this before, but I ended up cutting it. Where there was drama around this game where there was unisex bathrooms, and we were talking about how ridiculous that was. And so this is me kind of like bringing it back as far as like, oh, I bet this is why, because of the icon and stuff like that. And I thought about whether or not to keep it. I certainly don't want a situation where it's like, oh, I want to play on people's I want to play into the drama and like take a stand and stuff like that. I mean, my stance is that I feel like it's fine, so I'm making that pretty official right now. Unisex bathrooms is fine, but not because it led up to the quote of this. That especially if it was a segment that I put in the beginning of the of the video, and I didn't want to delete the whole thing because without context, it would be a little weird of like why I'm saying people get mad.
And then a
I'm
person.
assuming non-binary. That's a symbol for it. Where it's like a half-half.
It might be both instead of half-half.
People get mad for weird reasons.
I also should have put people twice because I said people twice if I'm quoting myself, but it's fine.
People get mad.
Yeah, why are
Put that
people
as a
so
quote.
mad?
That's clip that.
People get mad.
People get mad.
I also I will assure y'all I don't say clip that often. I think I was just really nervous. But yeah, I don't even listening to it now I'm like that's kind of cringe. But I don't say that nearly
get
as much.
mad.
I might say it every once in a while, but I'm not gonna say I never will say it.
This arm.
Is that an
So
arm?
beautiful.
I think that's a leg.
I must find the owner of this arm.
I should have said noted it as like leg. This arm. It's like this is a leg. That would have been kind of funny. I also wonder if because I know that there was some bits during the Dead Space playthrough where I like held on to an arm for a long period of time. I think that's why I kept this because I was like, oh, I probably will bring it up, and then I never did. But I still think it's decent. It's okay.
I honestly wish that there was like really dull elevator music. Gotta open all the boxes. Fuck this.
That transition I probably should have just kept because it was like 3-4 seconds of silence as I looked through the room. Like it wasn't that heinous, and this transition is so abrupt.
Gotta open all the boxes.
Look at that. Like it goes from bright to darker. It's closer up. It's a bad transition.
Fuck this ship. It's a shitty capitalist organization. Amen. Amen, brother. You will pay for your crimes, and then just a bunch of arrows pointing to a dead guy. Honestly, rude. He didn't need that. That guy didn't deserve that kind of.
Yeah, what did you do?
I did miss the wrong button thing that I should have added there. I should have said wrong button.
Oh, do you guys wanna?
Okay, so this scene, I put my whole ass in this scene. I loved working on this scene. I love this scene. This did so bad in the shorts. I was so upset. I was so distraught when the fashion scene that I made, like it didn't do well. And I think that's because like for most of it, I didn't it didn't have text. The first bit didn't have text. A lot of people probably watch shorts without any with any sound on. So after a while I put better with audio in parentheses around it, but it just didn't do well. Like people watched I think only like half of it, and you would see this huge dip. Hold on, maybe I can show y'all. Let's see. Not you. Let's see here. It was I'll show y'all after we're done with this. How about that? And but obviously people dipped as soon as the fashion show was over, right? Whereas I think what I should have done is removed the first part where the transitions match the music, and then kept the rest of it. I think it would have been fine, or it would have certainly done better. But I hope y'all enjoyed as much as I liked making it because I loved this.
See a fashion show.
Oh yeah.
I'll even turn it up.
Fashion show. Fashion show at lunch. Fashion show. Fashion show at lunch.
Because this is the so we got suit number 1, which is very ribbed. Then we have hand antlers.
I meant to cover this
See
up.
all
How embarrassing.
organs. This is the like. I was gonna say RoboCop, but essentially the cop. This one is just covered in blood, soaked in blood. In this one, my 3-year-old daughter drew all over it.
Grounded.
I love that this is literally the entire ship is in crisis, and then he's like walking into this room and coming out like, ooh, do I look better in the blue? All of the zombies are at the end and they're all clapping.
They have signs that go to 1 to 10.
Blue, my lord, blue, choose blue.
I'm a sucker for handlers, as is tradition. And so I'm gonna go with the 3-year-old daughter drew all over my suit. Now, with the power of my daughter's love, we shall move forward to medical.
Okay. So I have some notes for myself on it.
He's like walking into.
What I will say is this.
Want to see
The transition, this part right here is so good. I love the transition with the beat. The transition with the beat, mwah, beautiful, so good. I fucking loved it. I also had a lot of fun with the whispers,
which is very ribbed.
where I'm like, ripped. Like I was laughing in real life when I when I was making those whispers. It was so good. It was so funny. There's one thing that I will say is that the order of the guys coming out 100% should have been changed. Like, this is the Hantler one where it has hand antlers on its head, and this is the scene that I give it. This is the segment of it. I should have ordered it in a different way. Like, for that one, I love the spine coming out, but you only see it from the front. The antlers are hidden inside the thing. I really chose a bad order, and then when he's out and about, I picked the RoboCop one, and then the covered in blood one. Like, nah. I would have needed to find a good writing, so you can see the writing well on this. Like, the order in which the suit's being shown, I should have switched, which I realized after I finished making it, but it took such a long time and was so tedious to split it to the exact frame. I literally wrote down in a notepad the exact second and millisecond I needed to cut, because each beat was 1 second and 5 milliseconds to the dot. So I had to take the frame of the door opening and then add accordingly the amount of different transitions up to that point, and then from there clip those out and put it in. It was a whole thing, but man, I love it. It was so good. That first part is so good, which is why it pained me so that it didn't receive well, because more than likely people were watching it without sound. And also, I took it down at first on release day because I watched it on my iPad and it was off. The beat was off. It was off by a fraction of a second. I want to say a single frame, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. And I pulled it up on my computer and it was perfect, but on my iPad it was off. They moved, for whatever reason, my iPad was having the sound be off by a frame or two, and it ruined the entire experience. So it really saddened me that this didn't turn out as well as it did, because I really worked hard on it and I really like how it turned out. I will say this one, RoboCop, funny, but you can hear me clicking in the background. That you could hear me clicking on the the clip, my mouse, to stop the recording of RoboCop in the sound clip. So basically, for whatever reason, the voice recorder on my computer that I used was completely way oversensitive and took my mouse click as well, and it was bad. So that one I should have gotten a second take of.
This one is just
I do like.
soaked in blood.
I love that I kind of mixed it up as far as just like soaked and grounded and shit like that. It was funny.
So like literally, do I look better in the blue?
Like I wanted to make the end of this experience be the end of the song and stuff like that. And
Daughter's love.
I wish that last beat was going to end
Move forward to medical.
there. That's what I wanted. I wanted that beat to end there. So I was off by like 3 seconds, and I didn't know what to edit out to make that happen. What I will say with the short, I made the short exactly. The problem was trying to cut the song so that it felt natural and not cut, and I did the best I could. It's not perfect. But you know, it's one of those things where this is the part that I tried the hardest in. I like most of it, but it just wasn't as well received, and sometimes that happens.
Listen, I'm a little loot goblin, alright? I will loot anything. So anytime you're like, increase inventory space, I'm like, cool. How much
Yes.
will it cost?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
answer is yes. I don't care how much.
Also, I'm
I
a
just
resources
changed the
goblin.
suit.
I pick up everything.
Everyone's dying. Literally.
I do like the little like gets back in,
I
gets
don't
back
know,
in
I
again.
just changed out the suit. I guess I'll have to go right back in,
Slowly glowing blind is pretty good too. I like that.
Just
The
not
slow
liking
zoom.
The glare I'm getting from these lights on this suit.
You know, like getting flashbangs. In, like, can you imagine what Isaac's dealing with as far as just being in there, where it's just all light? I think he sees God.
I probably should have emphasized I think he sees God, because I think that's pretty funny.
He just gets flashbanged into his next outfit.
Right.
I should have also done that one. The last two I should have done it.
Translations in my brain specifically for Godfrey.
See, like I used the icon there for
Certain
Godfrey.
Translations in my brain specifically for Godfrey.
Like I did that, but for the other ones I didn't.
That's
So
really true.
I was being inconsistent, and I need to do better.
That's anti-negative. He's in a good place, but positive means a bad place. So when I say
Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm following.
yeah. So when I ask him like how's he's been doing, if he says living the dream, things aren't going well. But if he says
That's going awful.
it's like
Not bad.
and then I'm like, okay, perfect, you're doing absolutely fine. He has that mindset of like anti-negative is the good. I think you should learn German because it's the same kind of mindset from what I hear.
I'm not 100% sure if that's true with German, but it is what I heard.
Anyone who says living the dream is in a terrible mental place.
That's honestly fair as well. What is my inventory full of right now? It's just full of rats.
This was a lot of fun to make too. I did learn. I had to make so many different, like, in the video editor. There's like different like video audio 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Each one of these had to be its own one. So I had like what 12 different lines, which made the editing look real weird and small and hard to navigate because I just had to make 12 rats to fill my things to make this joke.
Trash.
I thought this was pretty funny overall.
Who's saying that?
Oh.
Again, this is one of those things where it's like it's kind of quiet,
I'm gonna
but it kind of leads up to things, so I want to keep it.
just gonna Where did the bugs come from? That's what I want to know.
I'm still in agreement with the bugs. There shouldn't be bugs
That's a very good question.
unless they have
Why are there
bugs on
in a
purpose.
space station?
I'm not picking that up. This is a one weapon game right now. I ain't picking that gun up.
And then we get to this point where we have click to part 2. So we have the in card, right? So for the click for part 2, once I click it and then I stand back, I'm making the suggested video be the part 2 of this video. And just kind of have that be like kind of like a natural thing there. But I haven't made part 2 yet, so I haven't done that yet. But and then I have the doors kind of opening, and then have the doors opening be the like cancel of that. Let's see here. We'll have that be like the beginning of the next video, right? So it's where are we? There we are. Let's move you back. But yeah, hopefully y'all learn some stuff. The overall grade I'll give myself like a C. There's some really good parts, some parts that definitely should have been cut, and some other parts that definitely need improvement. It's definitely a passing grade, but it definitely needs improvement. And I'm planning on implementing those in my next video with the manor. Oh my gosh. Oh god. Remember we talked about the dip in energy at 4? It hits, man. I think the only reason I've been able to get over it is because I've been drinking caffeinated drinks on the 2 to 6 days where I'm working on stuff. Let me switch over to, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It was, you want to watch a fashion show? Here it is. Like, it did okay. It's 403, but the average percent viewed is 27%. Most of my percentage, I'm very high on retention, which usually is a sign that I make good content. It's just I don't have a good hook, if that makes sense. Basically, people don't have a tendency to click on things that I make, either because I don't have a good hook to it, or maybe I'm just not making the right content for the right, like, I haven't found my audience yet, which within a month may be the case. It takes YouTube, a little bit of time. But if we look where it's like, oh, you're good, and then at the 3 second, 4 second mark, it tanks. It just tanks until like here, right? And then it goes down. So if we look at the 4 second mark, the 4 second mark here.
Oh, do you guys want to see a fashion show?
It's because their sound wasn't on. They were watching this, but their sound wasn't on. So by the time by the time 17 seconds is around, only 25% of the people are there. Right? And then the rest dropped. So even the people that stayed didn't want to stay, right? So it was good, and then bam. So what I should have done is I should have removed the audio timing. I should have gone forward with the idea that a good portion of people who watch shorts don't do it with sound. And having a bit, and that's why I renamed it Better with Sound, but by that point the damage was kind of done. I think I renamed it like somewhere over here where I was like Better with Sound, and then now it's just kind of flatlined. Because if we look at the reach though, most people view it. I think because the view here was originally like 20-30%, I would say on average, which is why I was like, gosh, how can I get people to do it or to click on it? Like, people who were clicking on it were watching most of the video, if not all the video, but people were just not clicking on the videos. And I think it was because that I started putting text on the screen. Suddenly it's closer to 40-50%. I got like a good 20% bump just from that. And I think the other ones, I want to say, like, people say, titles matter, but if it's going to be showing up on the feed, I don't think they look at it, the titles all that much. Anyway, but yeah, so I think that's everything as far as analytics and stuff like that. Overall, the voices in my brain one seems to be popping off. Like, what was it? It said 900 something like that. Yeah, it's still going up. It's still like 50% there. So that one's going to be rivaling. It's going to be, I imagine this is going to go up into the thousands with the rest of these. And my average percent is 100% there. So people be liking it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really that we need to talk about or go over. That was really the biggest thing. Am I going to do that every single time? Maybe. I doubt it. I wanted to do it this one because it was my first video. You know what I mean? With the first one, with a lot of learning experiences, I want to go over that kind of stuff with y'all to kind of go through like the mindset and going through the my thought processes, the things that I like, the things that I don't like, things I'm going to plan on moving forward with. Color. What do you mean? But one thing we will do. In addition to that, tomorrow and this evening as well, we will draw in Sound Mind outfit. That's what we're doing between these 2 days. This evening, there may be a surprise stream. I am not 100% sure on that. A couple of my friends are Melon. She was in the video we just watched as well. Kind of been itching to play some content warning, so that might be tonight as well. So keep an eye out on the Discord for me posting that. This one's gonna be live stream. This will be a content warning live stream. So that should be fun. I don't really know when. It may be sometime, hopefully, I want to say maybe 3 hours ish. We'll see. I'll post it in the Discord. What else? We have In Sound Mind outfit for In Sound Mind videos. The game dev stuff still ongoing. We're working on the Botany Manor video, and then there might be content warning live stream this evening, depending how everyone feels and everyone's schedule. But it should be myself, Melon, Beck, hopefully a fourth. We'll see. At least I'm currently planning on live streaming it, but the oh wait, hold on. There you all are. So now it's just not me, actually. There will be a moment of silence. There you go. But there is a chance that we may still play. There are a few of my friends who do not like to be live streamed when it comes to playing with friends. So if we play with those, then I wouldn't be live streaming. But as of right now, planning on playing content warning with some friends and live streaming it. And I will post in the Discord whether or not that's happening to keep you all in the loop. I think that might be it. Same schedule this week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, then Sunday. I will be posting the edited video Saturday, depending, but more than likely Saturday. And then, yeah. I don't think I have the mental bandwidth to work on compy animations today, so we might have just an early stream. Or earlier stream, rather. Maybe I just need to have caffeine for my streams. I feel like it messes me up, though. I'm not a caffeine drinker. For the longest time, I didn't. I also wanted to, the reason I have the Alien Mama Dodo out is because now that we're not doing Alien anymore, you know, it's gonna be retired. We're gonna be put away for now. And then we'll cycle it in with a In Sound Mind outfit. And as far as what I'm planning on In Sound Mind, I'm thinking, what was the cat's name? I'm thinking the cat being on the head. Maybe the stalker man, like behind Mama Dodo or something, would be kind of funny. I'll have to kind of go back in the video and see if I can get some good inspiration. Definitely the cat, though. Maybe like a little clipboard. Maybe little glasses, because Mama Dodo's the psychologist. That would be pretty funny. But yeah. I think with that we might call it. So once again, keep an eye out on the Discord for maybe a video later today. Not video, sorry, live stream. And then otherwise I will see y'all tomorrow for game dev. Thank all of you who have joined me for this you know, be with me today. Hopefully it was a nice chill day for y'all, as it was for me. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.